This is part 2 of the Somerton Man case. If you want to know more about this case and my theories of what might have happened to this man, please continue watching.
You are watching Roll a Mile in My Shoes TV.
Although we know the Somerton Man was seen by two couples on different days, and they all just assumed that he was drunk and they continued on their way, a third witness came forward and said that he saw this man in the wee hours of the morning carrying another unconscious man over his shoulder, heading towards the spot the Somerton Man was later found in. And the man said as it was dark, he could not describe either man, and it is unknown whether this had anything to do with this case. And I believe that it does, because why would one man be carrying an unconscious man over their shoulder? I could see if the man was drunk and he was possibly, looked like he was helping his friend walk because he couldn't, keep his balance. But this man was unconscious, and as we now know, this man who we cannot identify is found in this spot where the man was seen carrying the man over his shoulder too. But like it's been said so many times, we only do the best that we can with the knowledge that we have at the time. And because none of the other witnesses saw the face of the man laying on the beach at night, it's possible that he was a different man. So it could not have been the Somerton Man that they found that was, on the beach that night. So we really don't know if that was the same man. But judging by the fact that he was found on the beach, the next day, I believe that it was the same man. When they found the Somerton Man's body, he didn't have any signs of convulsions or any signs of physical harm. And so they believe that he was killed somewhere else and possibly carried to the beach. Because they didn't find any vomit or anything like that would lead them to believe that he was possibly poisoned either. So if he was poisoned and he convulsed and possibly vomited somewhere else, he was, carried to the beach and left there to, possibly die. Although I believe that he could have possibly been walking on the beach, and judging by the way that they said he was dressed when I was doing my research, I think that maybe he could have been poisoned and possibly died from it while just sitting down to smoke a cigarette, or he could have possibly sat down to smoke a cigarette, had a heart attack, and possibly died that way. Remember Mr. John Lyons? He was one of the two couples. Well, he was a man of one of the two couples that had seen the Somerton Man body during the evening stroll with his wife. And he returned to the beach the next day for a swim, and he met with his friend. And that's when he noticed a cluster of people riding on horseback near the seawall where the body had been the night before. So Mr. Lyons approached a group who were gathered around, and he realized something was wrong when he saw the body in the same position. He immediately called the police. What gets me about him is that he saw this man the night before with what he made it sound like were many, many, many mosquitoes swarming around this man and possibly just on his face. Now, I don't know about anyone else, but if I see something like that, I'm going to go over and at least try to wake the person up or have the person who is with me do it and then see if they need help or anything, because who knows, if he would have done that or the person that was with him had done that, this man might have not died in the way that he did, because he could have possibly gotten some help for whatever was wrong with him at the time. Although investigators were never to clearly identify who this man was, they had some physical details about his body. He was 5'11". He had gray eyes. His hair was a mousy ginger color, graying around the sides, receding in the front, and he was estimated to be between 40 and 50 years old. He was uncircumcised. He weighed between 165 pounds to 175 pounds. He was missing 18 teeth, including his two lateral incisors, which most likely never grew in due to a genetic defect. He had small scars on his left wrist, left forearm, and left elbow. His hands and feet were clean and callus-free, indicating he did not do manual labor. There was an initial investigation and autopsy done. The body was taken by ambulance to the Royal Adelaide Hospital. Dr. John Berkeley Bennett examined the body and proclaimed the time of death to be no sooner than 2 a.m. based on the stage of rigor mortis. This time of death has since been questioned as poison affects the process of rigor mortis. His reports listed the cause of death as heart failure, possibly caused by poisoning. The items in the man's possession. The items in this man's possession were also cataloged, and they were an unused train ticket from Adelaide to Henley Beach, a bus ticket from Adelaide to Glenlick, a pack of juicy fruit chewing gum, some Bryant and May matches, an aluminum cone, and a pack of Amy Club cigarettes containing 7 cigarettes of another, more expensive brands called Kensets. The man was smartly dressed in a suit and heeled shoes, but the maker's label had been snipped out of the clothes. That's really strange that all of his labels had been snipped out of his clothes, because why would someone do that unless they're trying to hide something like who the shirt or the clothes could have possibly belonged to? And I'm assuming that the man probably was given these clothes before he was possibly poisoned, and that is why the labels were snipped out, because this was probably pre-planned. This man wore a knit pullover and a double-breasted coat, which again is strange for the summertime and strange clothes for going to the beach. But this man was also missing a hat, which is strange for 1948. But what's even more strange about his outfit is that one of his pocket trousers had been torn and neatly repaired with orange thread. Now, this leads me to believe that these were old clothes that someone had given him right before he was poisoned. And yet again, that is why you see that his pocket had been torn and repaired with thread. Because who's going to look at the inside of someone's pocket to see, if it's been repaired or not? And that, is just more why my theory is that he, was given these clothes before he was poisoned, to, basically, I guess, cover up the fact of the initial clothes that he was wearing, because who knows, the clothes that he could have been wearing before putting those on could have led to more clues about who he possibly is or was. But if you guys like this video, please don't forget to leave me a like, a comment, and don't forget to share the video. And please, if you are not already subscribed, make sure you subscribe. And as always, guys, I'll see you on the next one.